I'm Amanda.
I'm Jay.
I'm Andrea, and this is Being at Work. This podcast is for leaders like you who want to be more of who you already are. So on this show, we tell stories, real stories, of leadership, HR, and all of the fun, messy things that surround the employee experience. Why? Because there is no straight line to success when it comes to working with people. Hey, have I ever told you guys the story about my daughter Mason?
Which story?
Mason participated in this 8-week performance arts camp. And the idea was at the beginning of the camp, she was given a poem to rehearse and practice throughout the 8 weeks. And then she performed it at the end. And so the kid just had it down, practiced every day, all over the house. So performance day finally came. And we're driving there, and she's going through it, and she had her props. And she was the third kid in line. And as the performances began, I noticed that her little knees were shaking. I'm like, oh, shoot. I never anticipated that she might have stage fright. And so as she got onto the stage, just white, splotches all over her. And you know me, I had the camera, and I was there in the front row, ready to go. But I'm like, wow, she's not going to do it. So I put the camera down. I thought she's going to run off the stage. She's going to dig her head into my hip, and she's going to sob. Like, that's what's going to happen. But that is not what happened. She stayed up there, and she did it.
Oh,
And
wow,
it was
awesome.
really pretty bad. But she was the only kid that got a standing ovation that day. And so we were all cheering, and I was just so reminded of staying on the stage. And so many times that I have run off the stage, and the going got tough, and it was just too much to really lean into the challenge. And so I cut and run. And I was so inspired that day by this concept of staying on the stage. I mean, don't we get to see leaders like that in the work that we do, and how encouraging that is? And to be vulnerable enough to say, like, man, this is really hard, and I have no idea what I'm doing right now, but I'm going to do it anyways. Yeah, so that's why I'm so excited about our podcast. You know, the opportunity that we have to share stories of leaders who have stayed on the stage.
I love that. And so often, those of us who work with humans, we're drained and we're looking for fresh perspectives. We're looking for the right support to help become better leaders.
We want to get into the real, right?
Yes.
Not just the conversations around what people should do or how people do things. It's about asking questions and going beyond the status quo to hear those stories of courage, those moments where leaders have leaned in and stayed on stage when facing a challenge.
So much of the content around HR tends to be impersonal, and frankly, it's boring. But behind all of the content, there is a human being at work. And so that's what this podcast is all about. Leaders sharing stories that highlight their humanness at work. So if you're a leader looking to pour into your people, attract and develop great talent, or you just want to spend more time on the stage, you should show up to this podcast.
Simply stated, this podcast is for leaders who want to bring their authentic self to work, because your workplace needs more of who you are.
This is Being at Work, a podcast from HRD launching on June 27th.
Woohoo!
Woo!